Okay, we'll give it a second
My
for people to
computer's
come
on. I
on.
don't know how to turn my volume.
Oh, I'm so excited to see everybody. What's up, Caitlin? What's up, Jill, Sandy, Kaylee, Carly, Kaylin, Carol, and our host, Stacy P.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually introduce Stacy to you guys for anybody that's like, I see Stacy's name and I'm like, don't really know like who she is or like how she came to be a part of the Boomerang Tribe. So Stacy and I connected because I have a girlfriend who, my hairdresser actually, she expressed a year or so ago, I guess now, she expressed that she wanted to go to some classes at the gym. She wanted to switch up her gym routine. And she's like, would you help me? Like, will you come to these classes with me to keep me accountable? And I was like, yeah, I kind of don't like the gym, but you know what? Like, I'll do it for you if I can take the class. And so I looked at the roster on Motion Fitness and I saw that they offered P90X. And I was like, F yeah, like we're going to P90X for sure. I'm going to still do Beachbody workouts at the gym just to die hard. So I took her to this P90X class and lo and behold, Stacy is teaching it. I had so much fun. She kicked my ass, first of all. It was so much fun. And after the class, I was just like, man, like you rocked that. Thank you so much for that workout. And she was like, oh yeah, you're welcome. I was like, I have never been to a live class. Like I do these workouts at home already as a coach, but like I've never done one live. And she's like, wait, what do you mean you do these at home? Like there's more? And then, so we started talking and I was just like, yeah, like this is a Beachbody workout and Tony Horton's a Beachbody super trainer. And like, it's a whole thing that I do now. And so her and I were texting after the fact and she was really skittish. And she was just like, I don't know. This seemed weird. I don't know, man. And it probably, I would say what, like a week later, she was like, actually, you know what? Let's do it. I want to do this. So we met for coffee. There was a few meeting for coffees or I went to her house or whatever and just like kind of like got it all started. And she hit the ground freaking running. And I will never forget because you continue to say this to me, Stacy, but she always says, I don't want to do what you're doing. I just want to hit Success Club and help people. And I'm like, you do you, girl, because that's what I do too. But she's hit Success Club. She became a Success Club All-Star. 12 of her being a coach. So she hit literally from day one, she hit Success Club every single month. She hit Diamond this summer. She is such a consistent force to be reckoned with. And she's really speaking up for other moms who she's advocating for. She's saying like, listen, like our kids are growing up and stuff. It's okay to have a hobby for yourself. It's okay to start an online business for yourself. And I love that, Stacey. I love that you get to speak to that market because I think it's such an empowering space for you to be in. So anyways, I'm going to mute everybody. Oops, that's not how you do that.
It's not really cutting in and out, but it almost is. And my computer is being really quiet. Are you guys all good for sound?
Okay, how about now?
I think it's better now that everyone's muted, maybe.
Okay, it might have just been somebody's connection. So I'm going to mute myself. We're recording, and Stace will give you the floor. And then after you're done, if people have questions, if there's like 5 or 10 minutes left, then we'll open it up for questions if that's cool.
Okay, how do you want me to do this? Like, are you going to Q&A me, or you just want me to like start spewing?
I feel like you should start spewing, and how about I'll interject and ask questions if I feel the need to. Does that work?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. You want me to go? Okay, guys. Yes, I'm Stacy Pickett, as Marie just mentioned, and that is a true story how we met. And I literally knew nothing about Beachbody coaching. I was teaching a Beachbody product. I did know that, but when we took our training for the P90X at the gym, I didn't actually realize there was a whole nother world of this online coaching business to go with it. So I can honestly say I had never heard of Beachbody coaching before I met Marie. And then I'll just go back really quick and give you a quick little spew about who I am and my background, because lots of you know me and you know it, but some might not. So first of all, I'm a fitness instructor. I work at Motion Fitness. I teach spin and P90X. I am a mom. We have a blended family. I have my oldest is my stepson. He's 21. I have a son. He's 16, and our daughter is 11. So after my daughter was born, I decided we were fortunate enough that I could stay home. So I stayed home with her, and I remember thinking, like after my year maternity leave was up, thinking, okay, like starting to panic a little, kind of relieved at the same time that I was able to stay home, but then kind of like, oh God, now what? And I remember feeling selfish for feeling that way because I was fortunate enough to be able to stay home, but then I also felt as time went on, like I was losing my identity too. So I knew that I did want to be at home, but I knew I needed right away. I knew I needed something for me too. So that's when I joined the gym. So I started doing all the classes at the gym, and it was great because I took my daughter to the daycare there, and I was getting a little me time. That turned into, I loved it so much. That's how I started teaching. So I started by taking spin, and then I took my group fitness, my SPRA, which last weekend I just spent the whole weekend. Every 2 years we have to go and get our credentials or whatever. And so yeah, I basically worked out for 2 full days. I'm super sore, just taught spin this morning. But I love teaching fitness. It gives me passion. It gives me something for me. I get to get up there and inspire people for an hour, and I love it. Then Marie, like she just told you the story how we met, then she came into my life and I was introduced to the speech body coaching thing. So it kind of came into my, you know how they say the university just unfolds how it will. It just kind of came into my life at the perfect time, because I know for a fact if it would have came into my life at a different point, I would have said no way with this. So it's all about timing. It's all about people being ready for it. And it's also being in the right mindset too. Like you have to be open and willing to hear the universe provide for you, right? And give you those signs. So anyways, that's the background on me. Then I became a coach. And then, yes, she's right. It was really sketchy in the beginning. I didn't know if I wanted to, how to do this. And I was watching some of the coaches, and they all looked younger, like in their 20s. And it's like, oh my God, I'm like the old bag in this group. Anyways, and honestly, I was really bad with computers and social media and technology, because before that I was a hairdresser. So never really had an office job with computers or anything. Yeah, sure, I pay some bills and I check my Facebook, but that was literally it for my computer skills. So I remember signing up, and when Marie and I went for coffee, and I literally started to freeze, and I almost couldn't sign up, but I was like, I kept doing it, but I remember just feeling so scared to do this for some reason. And I know now I feel like, well, I do and I don't. When I have a challenger signing up and they're taking forever to sign up, I kind of get annoyed, but I have to remind myself, okay, that was me too, right? Because it's like, hurry up and sign and just get signed up already. But I totally can relate, because I was the same. So when I first started, I remember just thinking okay, now what? And so Marie kept shooting me all these videos to watch. So I was like, okay, I can watch videos. And what you have to do when you become a coach is go with your own strength. So my personal strength was that I had the fitness background, right? And you women are also inspiring to me, and everybody has their own personal strength. Like Sandy's a nurse, so she brings that to the health care part to it. Marie's a teacher, so she brings the teaching aspect to it. We all have our strengths. So that's where I kind of honed in. I just used my fitness background as my strength. Still scared shitless though. I I didn't really want to start posting stuff on social media because I was active on social media, but not like we are as coaches. Like, sure, I'd put a post, oh, hey, I'm proud of my kid, or blah, 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 right? But I never, isn't this sad? I never thought to be inspiring on social media before. So I actually love that it's brought that out of me, because I remember when I was scrolling through social media in the past, reading some of the posts, and I'm just like, what? Like, really? Like, you just use this to spew your shitty day out on social media? So that used to annoy me. So I'm so glad that like, if we are going to post, I love that we post something of value and we try to be positive. And you know, that in itself, I get so many people saying to me, I love your posts. Like, even if they don't sign up, they're at least appreciative of my posts. And I'm sure you guys all feel the same way. You get those same compliments. I was super anxious in the beginning. Like, I'm an anxious person by nature. I do struggle from anxiety. I have anxiety attacks once in a while. Much more better now as I get older. But I remember when I first signed up, like, waking up in the middle of the night, like this, like, seriously, like, what am I doing this for? And just kind of freaking out. And my husband would be like, what is going on? Like, you're crazy. But he was very supportive, even though he had to deal with my like anxiety about it. But he was super supportive. I signed him up right off the bat. I took Marie's advice. I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, teach me how to do it right. Like, what do I need to do? Like, I wanted all the answers all at once. She's like, whoa, girl. Like, and as we know, we have to kind of roll into it and just fall into it. But that's really hard for someone like me to grasp, because it's like, what do you mean I have to grow into this business? Like, I want to know, like, right now, like, how do I do this? And so now I get that you just kind of have to learn into it a little bit. You do have to trust the process. You do have to be doing a few things, and I'll talk about that real quick. But so I said to her, what do I need to do? And when we went for coffee, she's like, sign your hubby up, get on Shakeology, and try to sign up 3 people every month and hit Success Club. So I literally was like, okay. So since she told me that, I think I might have missed Success Club 1 month, maybe, I can't remember. But so that's my like non-negotiable. I always have to hit Success Club 3 at least. I'm aiming for 10. I'm trying to up it. I always add at least 2 coaches a month. But speaking back to the anxiety, like when I woke up in the middle of the night, because a lot of new coaches will feel this way, kind of like either you're anxious like me because you just you don't know what you're doing and you just want to do it, or you shut down. There's those 2 personalities, right? We're either super crazy or we shut down. So either way, push through the anxiety, because you guys watched that video with Kim Carver, right? When he talks about the anxiety and how most people, they'll get to a certain point, and then as soon as it starts feeling uncomfortable, they give up. So it's like pushing through that. Once you get past that, it's so awesome. But I will say that every month I still get a pang of anxiety, because like, I'm like, I want to hit my goals. And that's not a bad thing. We got to learn how to hone in our anxiety, or it's fight or flight, right? Or wanting to give up. And so what I do is I just breathe, and meditations helped a lot with that. But instead of fighting that anxiety, I just use it to fuel me. And know that that's a natural feeling, and we're supposed to feel that way to grow. I just do a lot of breathing now. When I first started, I would try to dedicate at least an hour a day to whatever that looked like. Like, maybe I was watching some videos, or maybe I was doing some invites. I really didn't know what the hell I was doing in the beginning. I'll be completely honest. I was like, Marie's like, work your business. Okay, I don't know what that means. Like, I really didn't. And I remember it says my connection's unstable. Can you guys still hear me? Thumbs up. Okay. So yeah, I would watch videos. I would cruise through the website. Of course, the vitals, right? Like everybody knows that that's super important. And as a fitness instructor, I was already working out every day, but I was not reading PD every day. I was not drinking Shakeout every day, and I was still very skeptical about Shakeout until even like about half a year ago. And I was, yeah. So PD, I have dabbled in it before, but I was never as consistent as I am now. So that's like huge, 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 huge. Especially like, I don't care if you're doing a side hustle or if you're whatever your job is, like PD is good for everybody. So I'm so glad I'm like back on that bandwagon and like making that a consistent thing in my life. I've also made meditation a consistent thing. I meditate for at least 10 minutes every morning. That's huge. Like, especially if you're an anxious person like me, it's super huge. I've even got my husband doing these things with me too. So that's even huger. Yeah. I'm like, that's awesome. The first thing, obviously, like I'm speaking, I don't know. I know a lot of you are older coaches, or not older, but been doing this for a while. But I'm sort of speaking to the newer coaches because that's who I kind of want to talk to and say, like, don't worry if you're feeling all these things, because I felt them too big time. So of course you got to announce that you're a coach. Like so many new coaches, well, they haven't announced that they're a coach, but that's like super important, obviously. And if you need help from one of us, coaches that have been doing it for a while, ask us like, how should we announce it or whatever. But make sure you announce it, put a nice selfie of yourself, and invite them to you, and then run challenge groups. I love my challenge groups, but that's where that's my strong suit, right? Because I said, like, use your strengths. So I'm already a fitness instructor. So of course, running a challenge group is easy for me. We have so much fun in my challenge groups. I just watched the morning, like the Beachbody call, whatever it's called, the Monday, whatever. And I loved on there, she talked about it as her virtual gym. If anyone watched it this week, that was really good. I was like, oh my God, yes. Because when I'm teaching fitness in the gym, I only get to reach those participants. Like on Monday, I had 28 participants in Ride, which is awesome. It was a packed house and I was pumped, but I'm like, that's it. 28 people, that's all. And after that hour's done, then so that's what I love about Beachbody. I can reach so many more people. I have fun in my challenge groups. We try to follow the same program, but I just run an ongoing challenge group. So I never stop it and start it. I was doing that in the beginning, and I found I was losing people. I was losing interest. So, sorry, I got to take a sip. So I started doing an ongoing one, just a big group. I just keep adding everyone in there. And every month we'll change up the theme. Like we'll pick a program and we'll all do it together. And unless somebody is new and they think it's too hard or whatever, and then I'll talk to them one-on-one and through Messenger or whatever, and I'll get them set up with, like, I always recommend all my brand new people that I bring into the group, I say, why don't you check out Clean Week to start out, because that's such an easy one. And I don't want them to start with like Shift Shop or something like that, and then they're going to be like, oh my God, if they've never worked out, right? So I give prizes in my group. I get them like encouraging each other. So we have a lot of fun. I make lots of them are shy, so I don't. I ask them to post a sweaty selfie of themselves after, but I say, even if you don't want to post that, at least write in the group, like track that I want to see what your workout was. So my group is awesome. My challenge group is super fun. I love it. Oh yeah, and I remember Marie saying, like I said, I want to at least, I want this to pay for my products. Like, these products aren't cheap, we know that, right? So I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I want to at least make enough money to pay for my products. because I wasn't starting this for the money. I was starting it just for, something for me, right? And so I think you said, Marie, to get your products paid for, you need to sell to 3 people a month, right? Yeah. So that's good. I've made a little extra, but yes, getting my products paid for, that's always awesome. I do try and make the events. That's also a big one, right? Getting involved with the community is huge. Like when I first started, I remember seeing all your beautiful faces, all you coaches, and I remember being a little bit intimidated. And they're not scary. They're really lovely people. So get to know your coaches, because I love this community. You guys are all awesome. I'm just going to talk about the hitting Success Club and finding 3 new people. Like one of my coaches was like, oh, that's really hard. And I'm like, actually, it's not. Like, it's literally only 3 people a month. So the way I look at it, I have no one right now too. Like I'm sitting at 0 for this month. But I sent out some invites this morning, and I'm constantly tracking. So we'll get to that in a minute. But I just look at every new month as it's kind of like an Easter egg hunt all over again. Like here I go hunting for 3 new people. And so if you look at it like that, it's not as overwhelming, but and that's what else I love about this. It's pushed me to, like, I was kind of turning into a bit of an introvert. Like I was not really wanting to like have conversations with other adults. No, like you have your close friends, but then it's like work, right? To make new connections. But that's what Beachbody's got me back into doing, is getting back out there and meeting, making new connections, and not sticking to your same old group. And I don't know, it's awesome. I love how it's pushed me that way for getting out of my own way. I'm just trying to look through my notes. Oh yeah, let's talk about social media. So that's kind of funny, because when I first started, I had like maybe 300 people on Facebook. I just started getting into Instagram. I maybe had 90 on Instagram. So, and also I have teenagers. So you have to keep in mind, like they bug me. Like Reese is like, why are you posting all that stuff? And I'm like, oh, you never mind. If you don't like it, unfriend me. Anyways, he didn't unfriend me. He likes it. And I see they watch all my stories. All my kids do. And so they must like it. Or else they just want to laugh at me, but whatever. I like that I'm showing them, here's some good habits. And I'm not a perfect mom by all means, but at least they can see that I'm doing these things consistently. And it's sort of, obviously it's rubbing off, because they're all doing well and they're in their sports and stuff. So the social media thing, I add like a crazy person every day. I shouldn't say crazy, like I add like 3 to 10 people a day. That's my goal. Like I put it was on one of the trackers. So funny thing, before Marie started doing this tracker thing, I actually beat her to this, because I'm such a perfectionist myself. Like I felt like I was wasting a lot of time doing this coaching thing. Like I was like, I need like a schedule, because I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just wasting all the time, like scrolling through social media and stuff. So I actually saw on Virginia, in Virginia's group, that she had a tracker. So I asked her about it, and she told me I could just print it off the Beachbody website. So I was following a tracker already for a while before we even started doing this. And I love it, because I need to check something off. Like I'm a list girl. Like I need a routine, and I need to know what I'm doing. I don't want to work long. I want to be quick and dirty. Like that's how I work. Like I want to, let's pound this out in an hour and I'm moving on, because I'm busy. I got kids and I got shit to do. So, but I mean, I'm always answering, like, yeah, I'm always answering my phone and stuff when I have customers. But yeah, so the tracker's awesome. Work smarter, not harder, right? Social media, I keep adding. So that was on one of the trackers. I've now hit, sorry.
No, go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
I now hit I'm over 1,000 on Facebook, and got in for 1,000 on Insta.
I have a question for you. First of all,
Okay.
that's a beautiful example of the compound effect. That's all that is. You just add 3 to 10 new people every single day. That's literally, it compounds over time like interest. But second of all, you said that every month, because you are so bloody consistent with hitting successful, which I really appreciate and admire. You said it, you look at it like it's an Easter egg hunt. And I totally agree with what you said. You said it's not hard. Like, it's only hard if you think it's going to be hard, right? So where do you go to find your new people? Or is it just because you are adding these 3 to 10 new people every single day that you're maybe reaching out to them? Like, how do you find your new people every month for Success Club?
Well, so I'm coming on about 1.5 years now of coaching, and I am starting to find it a little harder. So that's why I really started digging into adding on social media and making new connections, because my same old regulars are sort of like, I've asked them out enough times. Like, you can only follow up with those type of people for so long, and you just kind of have to let it go. Maybe they'll come around eventually, but they're not coming around right now, so move on, right? So yeah, making new connections. You know what, when I go out to a function or something, I play a little game with myself, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find one person tonight. Like, things like that, like I'm now like making it just part of my month, my game. But it is tough. Like, you have to stay motivated. Like, you have to read your PD, because sometimes you don't feel like it. And I'm going to be super honest and vulnerable with you guys. Like, my dad just got diagnosed with cancer for the 3rd time last month, and he's going to be undergoing chemo. We just found out he's stage 4. And so we all have our stories, and we all have our shit, and there's always going to be stuff that gets in, it's called life, right? So it's just having a system and just working through it, because we still got to live, we still got to do our thing, right? So PD meditation, and like, we need this. Like, we're all here for a reason, right? We want this in our lives. So I don't do free groups because I just don't like that feeling. I feel taken advantage of. And and I feel like people will treat you how you allow them to treat you, right? So and not that people are trying to treat you bad or anything by trying to get into your group, but I just feel like I am offering value in the virtual group. So it has to be a give and take kind of thing, right? So I don't really do the free groups. If they ask to be in my group and they already say they've like already have these products or whatever, I always say, I ask them if they're working with a coach right now, and if they are not, I ask them to switch to me before I add them to my group. And then if they do have a group, I encourage them to reach out to their coach if they have questions or whatever.
Stacy, it's crazy to me to just listen to you talk and to have been here from the beginning of your journey and see such similarities in everything that we do. And the fact that, I started with my own journey, belief there, needing a community, having a big group, the challenge group was the easy part of it. The connections on social media were the bit tougher. And then running out of that warm market, realizing, shoot, 6 months ago, I should have been adding. But now finally finding the groove there too, which making time, the time that you're on social media worthwhile instead of just scrolling. Like, I feel like I have a purpose when I'm on there a little more, and watching like the anxieties about coaching and waking up. Like, I remember trying to go to bed thinking of posts when we were supposed to post like 3 to 4 times a day, and my brain was just like spinning. I also blew up your chat a little bit because I was curious, in a fitness expert, somebody who taught fitness, what made you change your mind about Shaco? What was sort of that, like, was it trying it? Was it hearing it, a video?
The video even didn't do it for me. It was really just staying consistent with it and seeing what it was doing for me, like feeling it myself. So So probably if I wasn't a coach, I would never have experienced that, because I probably would have gave it up before, because I'm kind of a skeptic at heart, and I would have been like, oh, I'm sure this is just another shake on the market, you know. So bad on me, but there's a lot of people like that. So now I can
it allows you to speak to it honestly, because you've been there. And that was the same with me. I was definitely a skeptic, but I also got sold a lot quicker because of what it did for me and my body within 10 days. And I was like, okay, you can't make this shit up. So it's been awesome.
I remember the day that you had your like light bulb moment. And I don't know if you remember this, but you went on a trip and you didn't take your Shako because you ran out or whatever. And you didn't take it, and you like didn't have Shako for a week or something. And I remember we had this conversation, and you were like, I don't know if I believe in it. And I was like, no, like, you have to, it's so good. And you came back from your trip after not having drank it. Do you remember? Yeah. And you were like, oh my God, I didn't drink it for a whole week. I just started drinking it for like 2 or 3 days, and I already feel so much better. This shit is good. And now, and then you were sold, and then that was it. And you were on it for life like I am. And it's just, you have to, people have to go through they have to go through it themselves. It's like when you see somebody you love going out with somebody poopy, you're just like, God, that person is awful. Like, you should leave them. But until they see it for themselves, they won't. You cannot steal somebody's rock bottom from them. And so I just think that is so powerful, letting people experience those things for themselves. So that was a huge moment. I remember that.
Yeah. And my husband's been drinking it with me too ever since, and he loves it too. We actually like, I make him one every morning before he goes to work. And yeah, we're both like, we were cranky because we had no Shako for 2 weeks because of the stupid strike. And then we were on holidays, so I missed the UPS, and then they screwed up my my
spice.
But hey, Linda's gonna save my butt and sell me a box, so that's awesome. Because I was like, I wanted to try it. But anyways, I'll just kind of finish up my last couple points. Oh yeah, for new coaches, another good one is emailing all your new customers. Like if you're Emerald, that's a really good one to do, because I remember Marie and the girls saying like, email your customers that you get through Beachbody. And I was like, oh, does that even really work? And yeah, it does. Like I have a few in my group since I've done that. So that's like free stuff, like free customers sent to you. And you know, if people are already purchasing, that means they believe in it a little bit, or they already want it. You don't have to convince them of that. So it's really an upsell from there, right? Possibly. So it's worth checking into. Being vulnerable is huge. What's that? You guys know which book is it about being vulnerable? Daring Greatly, I think that's the one. Such a good book. That one changed my social media posts, because I was a little bit more standoffish on social media. I didn't want to be too vulnerable. Not that I'm a huge private person, but just on social media, I wasn't comfortable with it. And then I just read that book and I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm being vulnerable, because you know what? People relate to that much more. I know I do. So yeah. Making real connections. Okay, what's huge for me, what I changed recently with social media is like, anytime, because I'm adding so many new people, anytime I get a new person, I send them a message right away. Like, hey, thanks for accepting my friend request. And nice to meet you, whatever, you know, ask a question too. So it's an engagement, not just like, have a nice day, you know, like be like, look on their profile. Like this takes a bit of time, but as you start building, this is where you need to put in a bit of time. And if you just do a couple a day, it's not that bad, right? So pick away at your tracker, use your tracker. It's awesome. I look back now, so I think it's been about 1.5 years, and I cannot believe the personal growth I've got. Like all of us can say the same thing, right? I had no idea that this would do this for me. So that is worth it. That's why you should be a coach. That's why you should be proud to be a coach. That's why you should keep pushing. And we all have different goals, and that's okay too. That's what I want to touch on. Like, Marie has her goals, Sandy has her goals, I have my goals. Like, I mean, we're all a team and we all help each other out within our goals, and we all have our own individual goals, but be clear to yourself what your own individual goals are. And then remember that it's more than, like, sure, you can think about the goal and then you can write the goal down, you can say the goal out loud, but you have to take action for the goal to happen, right? And that's by doing your vitals and doing your tracker and sticking to it and being consistent. So I think that's about all I got.
You're amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and your vulnerability. And I'm sorry about your dad. Life stuff happens, but you know what you said was so stand out to me. We're totally going to get cut off here, but you said push through the anxiety, because most people give up when it gets uncomfortable, and you don't grow if you don't push through that and stick with it. And I love that, because that is true of every single person on this call. I've seen it. I've been there for all of your journeys. I know that that's the thing, including for myself. So Stacy, I love you. Thank you so much for showing up for us.
Love you all too.
This is going to be one that people want to listen to again. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah, have a good night.